What's up, ladies and gentlemen? NoZoupForYou here, and I am back. I've been gone for a little while, and you've probably noticed that if you're a regular follower. A lot of life stuff going on. The twins just had their third birthday, had a giant party for them. The week before that, Benjamin was sick for an entire week. After that, Savannah caught strep throat. My mother-in-law and sister-in-law caught COVID, as did my mother and father. From the birthday party. I guess it turned into a super spreader event, but everyone's on the mend. I might have had COVID too. I tested a light positive at one point, but if I had it, it's asymptomatic. I feel fine. But yeah, a lot has happened in the past 2 to 3 weeks. So, haven't really been able to spend as much time on World of Warships as I would like, or making videos, or anything else for that matter. I mean, such goes family life. But I love it. Absolutely love it. Today, I want to touch on everybody's favorite topics, submarines, you know. I see on the forums and everywhere, people are just still furious with them, and, you know, I said I was done with submarines, and in a way I am. I'm not going to talk about the submarines themselves, but I do want to touch on homing torpedoes, because I think that is largely why submarines are so... I don't want to say they're broken, that would be unfair, because again, a bad player in a submarine is going to do absolutely horrible in a submarine. They're just not going to play well. Probably worse than they do in a battleship or anything else. Submarines are kind of a feast or famine thing, but they're just an extreme annoyance. But the homing torpedoes are what makes submarines absolutely ridiculously stupid, in my opinion. And this video is going to highlight what I think the issue with homing torpedoes are, and I think it can be fixed. I think Wargaming has the ability to fix it, but the question is, will they? And I doubt they will. At this point, I don't think they care anymore. I think submarines are out there, and they're just going to let the chips fall, and they're going to let players deal with it, because they know that, you know, only a fraction of players are actually going to leave, and the majority are going to stay. They just don't care at this point. But the round that I want to show you, and you see right now, first round in the Rochester. I picked the Rochester up for doubloons. You know, I have a very soft spot for U.S. historical ships, and the USS Rochester was an actual ship, an actual cruiser, based on the Oregon-class cruisers, which came towards the end of the war. So I'm like, okay, cool. Historical ship, really existed. That ticks off all the right buttons for me, plus it's got some nice American flags on the turrets. It looks very cool. I like that as well. So I decided to pick it up, take a chance on it, and this was my first round in it. And while I didn't do the amount of damage I wanted to, I mean, there's some interesting things about this ship that I like and some things I don't. So at some point in the future, I'll give it a review, because I definitely think it warrants a review. And I don't see a lot of these ships out there. I think this is just kind of flown under the radar for whatever reason or another. But towards the end of the round, you know, it's late game. We're up significantly, 700 to 400, 750 to 400. And I'm kind of holding down a flank. I've got a Goliath out there, so a little outmatched, outgunned. Put my damage in. The thing's shot down lots of aircraft, but there's a submarine out there. And I know it's out there. There's really nothing I can do, because I can't see it. It's a British submarine, and for some reason they're able to say submerge for, what, 5, 6, 7 minutes, half the round, something ridiculous. So he's not going to surface anytime soon. And if he does, it's going to be outside my detectability, which is another issue. But I'm locked in this battle against the Goliath. If it wasn't for this submarine, I probably would have won. The AP on the Rochester actually slaps pretty hard. And this Goliath was showing some nice broadside every now and then, but submarine fires his homing torps. And this is where things kind of get a little wonky, and where I get a little mad. You know, I might have made some mistakes on my part, popped a repair a little too early, but, you know, the submarine was close. I panicked. I wanted to break the lock, and, you know, maybe that's another issue. Maybe once you break a lock, it has to last a lot longer, maybe a minute or something like that. Give yourself a chance to not get locked on after 20 seconds and burn those repairs. But anyhow, I get locked on the mid-back portion of my ship. Okay, that in its own is not a huge deal to me. Homing torpedoes in the water, I'm still fighting this Goliath. I see the torpedoes coming. I accelerate. Now, these torpedoes are within 3 kilometers, 2 kilometers of me. And this is where the magic happens. I get pinged. in the front now, and these torpedoes make almost a 90-degree turn, going exactly to where I'm headed into the front of my bow, sinking me with, you know, the last 3/10 of health I have. That is an issue. That is the big problem with the homing torpedoes. Just magically, that little that pinged area goes from the back of my ship to the front of my ship. And in an instant, in the snap of a finger, those torpedoes just automatically 90-degree, hey, I'm going to do a U-turn, and I'm going to lock onto this guy right here in the front and just take him out. Unless I'm going below, like, or unless I'm going, like, over 40 knots, there's no way to evade those. Within 3 clicks, there's nothing. But this highlights the problem and why I'm so angry with this mechanic and everything else. Torpedoes should not be able to turn on a dime like that within 3 kilometers. They should turn more like a battleship. It should be gentle turns. Gentle turns to give ships the ability to get out of the way and everything else. They should not be able to turn that quickly within 3 kilometers, especially if they're flying along at 70 miles per hour or 70 knots. That breaks the laws of physics. That is not physically impossible. And I know that this is an arcadey type of game. I know there's creative licenses that have been bent and in other places broken. But this is probably one of the most unrealistic, unbelievable things in this entire game. And it makes submarines so damn frustrating. Because torpedoes should not be able to do that. They should not have the ability to just, in an instant, turn on a dime. It's like, oh, it's like that meme. It's like that meme where you see, you know, that car's on the freeway and it's going one direction, and then there's the off ramp with another sign, and he decides to fly over all the lanes. That's how I feel these torpedoes are. They should not be able to move that quickly, to turn that quickly. And Wargaming can fix that. They can absolutely fix that. In a perfect world, I feel like those torpedoes probably should not have hit me. They shouldn't have been able to turn that quickly. And if I ate one, maybe one towards the back. Because in reality, they probably should have started turning a lot slower. But no. Wargaming reasoning, Wargaming logic. You got pinged on the front within 3 kilometers, and my 70-knot torpedoes are going to make a hard left, as hard as possible, and they're just going to smack into you. Because even though you only had 1 ping on the front, that's a hard enough lock for our magic torpedoes to do their 90-degree turn BS magic and smack into the side of you and take you out of the round. That is why homing torpedoes are complete, utter BS. Or acoustic torpedoes, or whatever they want to call them to get away with them. In a perfect world, I think these submarines should all only have dumbfire torpedoes. Yeah, make them do a little more damage. Make them do, you know, 5,000 more damage than they already do. Make them a skilled thing. High damage, high reward. But these homing torpedoes, and the fact that they can reload so quickly, and you can ping so quickly, and even if you repair to, you know, break that ping, it only lasts, what, 20, 30 seconds, barely anything. It's just BS. And like I said, a bad submarine player is going to do bad, but a good one who halfway knows what they're doing is going to make someone's life miserable, and it's just not fun for the game. It's not fun for the players. It's really not fun for anything whatsoever. So yes, Wargaming, your homing torpedoes are complete and utter bull crap. You need to fix them. You need to make it so they don't turn 90 degrees on a dime within 3 kilometers, which again, like I said, breaks the realms of physics. I mean, this is Einstein level material here. This is like, you know, you have managed to unify gravity here. This should not happen. It shouldn't. But those are my thoughts on it. I want to know yours. I'm sure I know what most of you are going to say. It's obvious. Yeah, good to be back. You all take it easy. Hope you're doing great. Zoop out.